Imagine this, a sudden natural disaster or a power outage hits your city. Are you prepared to feed yourself and your family for days or possibly weeks? Welcome to our deep dive into the crucial topic of emergency food storage. In an unpredictable world, being prepared is more than just a Boy Scout motto, it's a necessity. From recent news, we've seen emergencies like the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine shortage, Ukraine's grain storage crisis, and Lebanon's state collapse. These situations impacted countless individuals, highlighting the devastating consequences of being unprepared. Today, we're tackling the issue head-on, discussing how you can effectively store food for both short and long-term emergencies. We'll cover the needs of different individuals, from children to the elderly and even the handicapped. So whether it's a natural disaster, a power outage, or a global pandemic, you'll know how to keep your loved ones fed and safe. Stay with us as we dive deep into the world of emergency food storage and how you can be ready for any situation. So, what kind of food should you store in case of an emergency? The answer isn't as straightforward as you might think, because the type of food you store can depend on a variety of factors. Let's start with MREs, or meals ready to eat. These are self-contained individual rations in lightweight packaging. They're a staple in many emergency kits because they're convenient and can last for years. But while MREs are packed with calories, they might not be the best choice for everyone. For instance, the high sodium content can be problematic for those with hypertension, and the texture and taste might not appeal to children or the elderly. Next, we have canned food. It's another long-lasting option, and it offers a lot more variety. From fruits and vegetables to soups and meats, canned food can provide a balanced diet. But remember, canned food can be heavy and take up a lot of space, so you'll need to plan your storage carefully. Dehydrated food is another option to consider. It's lightweight, compact, and can last for years if properly stored. But it does require water to prepare, so you'll need to factor that into your planning. Finally, don't forget about comfort food. In stressful situations, familiar foods can provide a much-needed morale boost. So items like chocolate, instant coffee, or your favorite snack could have a place in your emergency food supply. Now let's talk about who's going to be eating this food. Children might need smaller portions and familiar foods. Healthy adults can generally handle a wider variety, but those with dietary restrictions will need to plan accordingly. The elderly might require softer, easy-to-digest foods, while individuals with disabilities might need foods that are easy to open and prepare. Remember that variety is key when it comes to food storage. You need a balance of nutrients to keep you healthy and energy-dense foods to keep you going. At this point, we want to thank you for staying engaged with us. We hope you're finding this information useful. As we continue to delve into the world of emergency food storage, we realize that many of you have your own experiences and wisdom to share. We encourage you to hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and most importantly, join the conversation in the comments section. Have you prepped for emergencies in the past? What types of food did you store? Do you have any unique tips for keeping your stash organized and making it last? Your experiences can provide invaluable insights for others in our community. Remember, it's not just about preparing for the worst, but also about sharing knowledge and supporting each other along the way. So, let's keep the discussion going and learn from one another. Let's continue on our journey towards preparedness. Your input is invaluable to us and our community. Now that we've covered what types of food to store, let's discuss how to store them for the long term. It's not just about throwing cans in a cupboard and calling it a day. There's a science to it, a method to the madness, if you will. First off, let's talk about the environment. A cool, dry, and dark place is ideal for most types of food storage. Heat and moisture are enemies of preservation, as they can speed up the deterioration of food. So consider basements or pantries that are away from heat sources like stoves or ovens. Next, organization is key. You wouldn't want to be rummaging around for a can of beans while an emergency is underway. Group similar items together and use a first in first out system. This means you use the oldest items first and replace them with the same item, ensuring your stock is always fresh. Now, some of you might be thinking, but won't long-term storage affect the taste of the food? Well, yes and no. Yes, because some foods like canned fruits and vegetables might lose a bit of their flavor over time. No, because there are ways to mitigate this. For instance, storing food in airtight containers can help preserve the taste. And let's not forget, spices and seasonings can work wonders in jazzing up a meal. Another point to consider is that different types of foods require different storage methods. Dehydrated foods, for instance, need to be sealed properly to prevent moisture from getting in. On the other hand, canned foods are pretty much good to go as long as the can isn't dented or rusted. Remember, it's not just about survival. It's about maintaining a sense of normalcy in a crisis, and food plays a big role in that. So think about what you and your family like to eat and try to incorporate that into your emergency food storage. Proper storage and organization can make a world of difference in an emergency situation. Plan wisely. In times of crisis, self-reliance becomes more important than ever. It's not just about storing food, it's about being able to sustain ourselves when the usual resources are unavailable. Let's talk about some of these self-reliant actions. One of the first things that comes to mind is purifying your own water. We all know the importance of clean water for survival. It's not just for drinking. We need it for cooking, for hygiene. There are various methods to purify water, from boiling to using purification tablets or filters. These methods have been lifesavers in numerous emergency situations, like natural disasters where the usual water supply is disrupted. Next, let's talk about growing your own food. It's a long-term strategy, but it pays off. Having a home garden not only provides you with fresh produce, but can be a therapeutic activity as well. In the face of food shortages, those with the ability to grow their own food have a distinct advantage. And it's not just about fruits and vegetables. Consider raising chickens for eggs or bees for honey. Now, hunting and fishing may not be for everyone, but these skills have been essential for survival in various parts of the world. They provide a source of fresh protein and can be a sustainable practice when done responsibly. These skills have been particularly useful in remote areas where access to food supplies can be challenging, but remember, self-reliance goes beyond these actions. It's about being adaptable, resourceful. It's about learning to use what's available to you and making the most of it. From using solar power to learning basic medical skills, the scope of self-reliance is vast. Self-reliance doesn't just prepare you for emergencies, it also gives you a sense of control and independence. It's about knowing that you have the ability to take care of yourself and your loved ones no matter what happens. It's about being prepared, being resilient, and being ready for whatever comes your way. We've covered a lot of ground today, from types of food storage to self-reliance actions. We explored the different kinds of food you can store for emergencies, including MREs, canned food, and dehydrated food. We also touched on the importance of comfort food in trying times and how to cater to different individuals like children, healthy adults, elderly, and handicapped individuals. We dove into the strategies for long-term storage and organization, and we discussed how different types of storage can affect the taste of your food. Moreover, we examined self-reliant actions like purifying your own water, growing your own food, hunting, and fishing. All these actions can significantly increase your chances of weathering a crisis and coming out stronger on the other side. But remember, all this information is only as good as the actions you take. It's important to start your emergency food storage preparations now. The stories we shared from various news sources show the stark reality of disaster or emergency events that have impacted a large number of people. This information would have been invaluable in enduring those events. The key takeaway is that preparedness is not just about having supplies. It's about having the knowledge and skills to use those supplies effectively. So whether it's learning how to purify water or understanding the nutritional needs of different family members, every bit of knowledge you gain strengthens your preparedness. Thank you for joining us today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you valuable content. And don't forget to check out the video description for links to highly rated and affordable products to kickstart your preparations. Remember, preparedness starts with you.